Hello guys, in this video we are going to look into the First and Second Illyrian War, both of which happened between 229 BC to 228 BC and 220 to 218 respectively. Let's get into it. The Second Punic War was underway. During that period Rome not only had suffered humiliating defeats in the hands of Hannibal Barca, but now its trading vessels were being raided by Illyrian pirates. Even though it took a toll on the Roman economy, the Carthaginian threat was way bigger than the Illyrian one. During this era the dominant Illyrian power was the kingdom of Illyria, ruled by the Dardania tribe. The Dardania kingdom had set itself as a power to be reckoned with between the Illyrian tribes. King Agron had expanded the kingdom's borders west and south, capturing the Greek colonies of Apollonia and Illyria territory. However, during a feast he would get alcohol poisoning and die several days later. His successor would be his son, but his second wife Tuta would act as a regent. She intended to have a calm and a friendly relation with Rome, but she sponsored a lot of pirate operations in the Adriatic. After the Second Punic War, Rome was free to deal with the Illyrian problem. According to Polybius, Rome sent 2 ambassadors to the Dardania. Tuta the queen greeted them with open arms. The ambassadors opened the piracy issues to the queen and demanded her to stop. Tuta argued that she was unable to put an end to the tradition of private enterprise. One of the ambassadors lost his temper. In response, the queen arranged for the insolent envoy to be murdered on his homeward voyage. News of this caused the Romans to prepare for war. Legions were enlisted and a fleet assembled, and there was general indignation at the queen's violation of the law of nations. Later an offensive led by consuls Gnaeus Fulvius Cintumillus and Lucius Postumius Albinus with 200 ships and 4 legions landed in Illyria. After a defeat in the sea in the hand of the Romans, a great amount of tribes defected to the Romans, including Demetrius of Pharos, whom had served under King Agron, and surrendered the largest Illyrian fleet to consul Cintumillus. The whole invasion had caught Tuta off guard, and after other humiliating defeats and the capture of Scotrium in the hands of the Romans and their Illyrian allies, she was forced to sign peace. Before the end of winter, Tuta's envoys appeared in Rome and a treaty was concluded. According to its terms, the queen would pay tribute, or perhaps an indemnity, to Rome, abandon Illyria, except for a few places, and promise not to sail south of Lissus at the mouth of the Drine with more than 2 ships, and even those had to be unarmed. The terms of the settlement were conveyed to the leagues in Greece, where they were well received. 31. The Illyrians had been forced to give up all their recent conquests south of the Drine. The Romans had gained control of the strategic ports of Epitомnos, Apollonia, and Corcyra. In the hinterland, several of the Illyrian tribes now had the status of Rome clients, as was certainly the case with the Partheni in the Gensis, Shkumbin Valley and the Atintani further south. Moreover, not only were the Ardai prevented from moving at will by land and sea into Epirus and western Greece, but they were now cut off from the inland route to Macedonia, their patron and ally against the Greek leagues. After the First Illyrian War, Demetrius Pharos would marry Trituta, the mother of Pinion, the first wife of Agron, thus making himself the regent of the young king. He immediately started strengthening the position of the Dardania. He immediately started strengthening the fleet and the army. He would later send an Illyrian contingent to Macedonia, around 1,600 men, against the Spartans. This concerned the Romans, whom started preparing for war. However, Demetrius had expected an aggressive move by the Romans, so he placed garrisons around the most important forts such as in Dymium and Issac. The Romans considered Dymium as it was crucial to Demetrius, as he could subdue any local tribes whom disobeyed him. Thus the consul besieged it. After a long siege and some defeats, the Illyrians surrendered and Demetrius fled for Macedonia. The Romans destroyed the fortifications of Pharos, and before the summer was over Emilius was back in Rome receiving congratulations for a job well done. Any threat to Roman holdings in Illyria had been eliminated, all the gains of the First Illyrian War had been secured, and the old restrictions on movement imposed on Illyrian kings. Demetrius may have returned to the Dardanian state and have been attacked by another Roman force, although the regime of Pin, now confirmed as king, was left intact. Rome supported a small Dardanian state ruled by Pin and his successors. The Roman Republic called for the extradition of Demetrius, but Philip refused. Pindar was ordered to pay the arrears of tribute, reparations imposed after the war. The weak Dardanian state soon fell prey to Macedonia, while the partial destruction brought onto the scene the urban coine of the Partheni, Bellines, Amantini and others. With this out of the